Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Hanley and welcome to another episode of Google Plus Friday. Today we're going to talk about why many well-intentioned Google Plus users are being marked as spammers and what you can do to make sure it doesn't happen to you. As the owner and moderator of a few different communities, including the content marketing community and the insurance inbound marketing community, I have access to see all the posts that are being submitted to these communities. And what Google has started to do is mark certain posts as spam, and it looks like this. So as a moderator or an owner of community, you're starting to see posts be marked with this red box, and you can either remove and remark as abuse, or allow that post to be visible by the community members. And what's happening is most of these posts, or at least in the instances that I've seen in two of the communities that I spend the most time in, what I've actually seen is that most of these posts are not actually spam. Most of them are well-meaning content contributors, content creators trying to spread their message. But the mistake that they're making is trying to reshare their post to too many communities too quickly. So what these individuals are doing is creating a post on their public profile, sharing it, and then using the reshare button to distribute that post to all the various communities that they may think are relevant. Maybe they don't necessarily think they're relevant, maybe they're just sharing them to all their communities. Either way, Google is seeing this practice as spam, and I think with good reason. Anyone who's followed along with Google Plus Friday knows that there is a very specific way that Google Plus members appreciate having content shared with them, and that's taking the time to add a headline, add a description, give other users a reason to click through to the link that you're sharing. And in this case, what these users are doing is just kind of blasting out their message to as many communities as they possibly can in an effort to gain as much attention and traction back to their website as they can. I'm also seeing that many times these posts do not have extensive descriptions or bolded headlines, they're not using italics, so they're not marking up the posts or really making them attractive to any other users and enticing those users to click through. It's kind of just a simple description, maybe even just copying the headline of the post again in the description. So Google is now marking these posts in communities as spam, and as a community owner moderator, I have been on occasion marking certain posts as spam if I see the same individual doing this over and over again. And if I'm doing it, that means that probably many community owners have started to mark specific individuals' posts as spam, even if they're not necessarily spammy. So what I would like you to consider is, if you create a piece of content and you share it to your public profile and then you want to reshare that to communities, be very targeted with the communities that you're sharing that message with. And what I would kind of encourage you to do is actually think about creating a whole new post inside that specific community instead of just resharing, and maybe changing up the image, adding specific language to that update that is different than your original public post. Tailor it to the community that you are sharing it with, and that way you can make sure that you're not having your messages marked as spam, something you do not want to happen inside of Google Plus. So that ends this week's Google Plus Friday. Hopefully none of you are being marked as spammers. We want to be cognizant about these kind of things. If you're interested in learning how exactly the best practices for sharing on Google Plus, that was actually the first episode we ever did here on Google Plus Friday. You can find it right here. Otherwise, if you'd like to connect with me in Google Plus, you can do so right here. Use this button or use the link below in the show notes. Connect with me on Google Plus and we can continue this conversation there. If you found value in this video, if you think other people would find value as well, I hope that you'll click the like button or one of the share buttons below. Spread the message of Google Plus Friday. It's the best way to support this show, and I will continue to bring you great new pieces of advice on helping you do Google Plus